Sea glass is the ocean's way of telling us that if you give it something breakable, it can turn it into something beautiful. Sea glass is fragmented pieces of glass that are created from bottles, tableware, and shipwreck materials. These fragmented pieces are further tumbled by the ocean to create frosted little pieces with soft edges. The best way to find sea glass is to follow the following steps. First, find an ocean shoreline. Next, look up the tides. And finally, find these little perfect pieces. In the next following minutes, I will describe to you this process as well as give you an example of my favorite place to find sea glass. The first step in finding sea glass is to find an ocean shoreline or waterway. Glass has been in the making since 3500 BC and has ever since been dumped into the ocean's waters along shorelines and shipping lanes. Thus, all beaches have the potential to have sea glass on them. When looking for an ocean shoreline, it is best to find one where people and water often meet. The more frequented the beach is, the more likely it is for sea glass to be present. My favorite beach to go sea glass hunting is Sand Island on the island of Oahu. This beach is secluded and not well known, thus providing vast amounts of sea glass. It is also located near a major shipping port, and the beach is very rocky, which provides opportunities for sea glass to be broken up into smaller pieces at a faster rate. The next step is to look up the tides of the chosen beach or waterway you have chosen to venture to look for sea glass. Keep in mind that tides more so relate to beaches as freshwater bodies do not typically have tides. That being said, the best time to go find sea glass is at a falling tide. A falling tide is the time between high and low tide or low and high tide. More specifically, the optimal time for sea glass hunting is at the top of low-high tide. At the beach where I go sea glass hunting, Sand Island, I prefer to go right after a strong high tide, as little pebbles, rocks, and sea glass get caught up in these little trenches right above the shoreline, making it easier to find them. The final step for finding sea glass is finding the pieces themselves. When looking for sea glass, it is important to keep two things in mind: color and grade. Colors such as red, yellow, and orange are rarer than colors such as white, green, and brown, as white, green, and brown come from liquid containers, which are more common than rarer colors which originate from shipping containers, glass lanterns, that sort of thing. In addition, the frostier the piece of glass is, the more likely it has been in the ocean for a longer amounts of time. Sea glass also comes in different shapes, more commonly triangular and oval-like. Oval-like shapes are found more commonly in beaches with less rocks and more sand, as the sand tumbles them in an oval-like fashion. On the other hand, triangular pieces are often wedged between two rocks and where one side only faces erosion. I love searching for sea glass because every piece you find is different and unique, and that is something that is really special and can be treasured for a long period of time. Hunting for sea glass can be a very personal experience. When will you find pieces that speak to you? Thus, out of all the steps to find sea glass, finding the perfect piece is the most important. If you always remember to find an ocean, look up the tides, and find pieces that speak to you, you will have a successful sea glass hunting excursion. And above anything else, please remember, sea glass is an endless gift from the ocean. We should always cherish it and treasure it.